Hi, my name is Paul. I'm with a company called AwareLabs. I'm going to do a quick demo of our website builder. Basically, we have an existing site. It's kind of a side project I have where I sell pot racks on Etsy. And it has a gallery, it has a basic page, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a shop to it. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share. And as you can see, this is the guide we'll be using with our builder. So let me actually go into that guide. There we go. So basically with a basic e-commerce site with AwareLabs, it walks you through the steps of adding all the components you'll need to build a site. Things like a gallery, return policies, even a loyalty program. It also includes a set of keywords that you can use to optimize your store. These are keywords that our team has researched that go well with online stores. And then 45 external resources. We actually include links to other sites where you can sell your items. And the reason we do that is because a lot of small shops, when they start, have no exposure. And the best way to get exposure for a new e-commerce site, especially if you're selling your own product, is to list your product on other sites and then introduce those sellers to your own website. So let's take a look at what our website looks like right now. So this is the Humble Rack website. And what you'll notice is it's an okay site. It has a heading at the top, a full screen banner. It's fairly responsive. Sorry, it's fairly responsive. It has an FAQ section. So if we click on that, there's myself, the design craftsman. So what we're going to do is we're going to really quickly modify this. The back end of the site looks something like this. So here's a list of all the apps I'm using to build this site. You can see the FAQ, you can see the gallery, the home page, my profile, some setup information, and then we're not running any apps for engagement. There is a newsletter app with 5 subscribers. And currently the shop is not active, so we're going to activate that later. So let's modify the theme. So let's make it look better right off the bat. So we're going to go in here and we're going to add a little bit of color. We're also going to, let's update the color. We're also going to change the template a little bit. So our logo isn't in the corner, it's up top. Let's brighten things up a little bit. So that was a couple of mouse clicks, and the effect on the site is this. Right? So you can see we opened up the logo, works better with the wider logo that we have. It scales down on a responsive site. The menu remained the same, all our content remained the same, but the feel of the site has changed, and it's not as gray anymore. It's got a little blue, a little bit of brown. So let's tune that up a little more. So let's add even more color to it. Actually, let's go with an earth tone. So let's go with something like this. Actually, this one. So we refresh, the site's completely changed. Look at the home page, it's a completely different site, right? In terms of look and feel. All right, so we've kind of played around with the look and feel of things. Let's actually do some content changes. So First of all, we can take a look at the About Us page and maybe add a banner to the top of this to make it a little more exciting. So we're going to go in here, we're going to find the person, which is me. We're going to edit that. So you can see some basic information about myself. I can connect things up, add links to external sites, and add other content from the site. We'll get into this later. But right now I just want to add a banner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a image from my site. So it says handmade. I'll choose one of the images that kind of has handmade feel to it. So I'm adding the banner right now. Okay, so let's see what happened here. So here's the image that was added as the banner. So now if we look at the website, here's the banner image. Right. So that's pretty cool. Again, it's fully responsive. So, and it adjusted, it removed the page image because the banner is present. So it has some intelligence built in to make sure things align correctly. Let's also rearrange the navigation because I'd like to move the FAQ to the end and the contact us and make the pot racks, which is a gallery of pot racks, a little more prominent. So we're going to go in here, we're going to go back to apps and search for navigation. Here is navigation. And we're just going to rearrange a few things. So I'd like the pot racks at the top. I'd like an About Us right here, and the FAQ to be right there. So now if we look at the website, pot racks, About Us, FAQ, and contact us, which is the order. And then the side menu, which is used for mobile, also has the same piece. All right, so let's add a shop. So we go in here and we can basically scroll down to the payment section and we have shop, right? So we're going to add an item to the shop right here. There are currently no items, so I'm going to say 10-piece pot rack. Actually, I'm just going to copy the description from our gallery. The same thing in the summary. A little note about delivery. And I'm actually going to use the exact same image from the gallery. Let's take a look at one of these images. Let's say we're going to use this one. Okay. So in here, I can pick an image of the pot rack. Images. Here we go. This one. And the price on this pot rack is $39.99. There's no sale. Let's say it weighs about 2 pounds. And we're only going to ship this, so we're not doing any pickups or deliveries. And let's update that. So I basically created a 10-piece pot rack. If I look at the website, here's my 10-piece pot rack. $39.99, 2 pounds. I can add it to the cart. A little description. And let's see if we can add anything to this. Let's add an FAQ at the bottom. there are 4 FAQ items that we're adding to the bottom. And save. Let's refresh this page. This is the gallery. So we need to add the shop to the menu. So let's go back here, adjust our navigation, and let's add, let's call it shop. And we're going to add shop. So now when we refresh the page, we have the shop. And shop is showing one item. It's the 10-piece pot rack. If you look at the 10-piece pot rack, the FAQs that we added earlier are right here. Right. So now let's do something a little more advanced. I'd like the shop to show up under the shop items to show up under the gallery, under pretty much all other pages on the site. So what I can actually do is go in here and select where I want my shop items to show. So we don't have a band, we don't have a blog, book, we don't have businesses, collections. We have a gallery, a home page, none of these. We have a profile of me. And that's it. So let's update the automation. So what happened is the site literally just went through, and because we only have one item, it'll obviously put the same item on every page. But if you had more than 4 items, let's say, what it would do is it would choose the most relevant ones and add them to all those pages automatically. And that's actually updated every 12 hours. So as you manage the site, add content, remove content, those connections keep getting updated. So now when I go to my About Us page, what I'll see on the bottom is you'll see my profile, but you'll also see the 10-piece pot rack. It was automatically added to that page. Same thing goes for the gallery. So if I go into the gallery and I look at my 5-piece wooden hanging pot rack, at the bottom, here's the gallery shop. This item was automatically added. So that's really where the power of AwareLabs comes in, is the automation and the conversion funnels. What I'm able to do is really rapidly create conversion points within pieces of content. So this is what I would share. If I look at the 10-piece pot rack, this is what I would share on Facebook, right? And people would come in and look at it and say, "Oh, that's pretty cool." But this is where my sale occurs. So it's really rapid. I mean, it took a couple of seconds. The last piece I want to show that kind of completes the e-commerce piece is the newsletter. So typically, if we wanted to promote the item we just created, we'd have to go out to MailChimp, recreate a template. We'd have to then copy the content over, make sure the links go to the correct page, figure out how to get segmentation and all those pieces in place. With AwareLabs, it's much simpler than that. You can literally leverage the content from your site. So let's create a quick newsletter. So let's just say new item in our shop flow. We have a new item. Right. Save this. All these options open up. So now we have a subject for the email. So let's say we do, again, new item in our shop. Try our pot rack. Here. So again, we would link to the shop item specifically. So we can link to shop items. And we can say, this is a handcrafted item. We ship within 5 days. It's great. And what we're going to do is from the shop, so the shop is selected. We're going to add the 10-piece pot rack, right? And we're going to say our pot rack. Make it full page size. But we're also going to add the profile. We're going to call it the craft. Connect myself to it. Again, we're going to do a smaller profile. And what's interesting about the newsletter is instead of sending to email addresses, you're literally sending to people that have already done something. So I can send it to the administrators who have accounts on the system. I can send it to anyone who has ever participated in a loyalty program. I can send it to anyone that's ever opened another newsletter, right? Or I can send it to anyone that's subscribed. So as you run the site and continue to do marketing campaigns, this gets filled out. So eventually you'll be able to do things like, send a holiday promotion for everyone that purchased an item from us on Thanksgiving of last year. That's how specific this gets. And we are actually going to do a banner real quick. So let's choose an image for the banner. And let's just make it this one, the banner. Right? And we're going to save this. Now, I didn't click send. It's not going to send to anyone. But we can take a look at it. So this is the newsletter it created. New item in our shop, buy it here. Here's our pot rack, 10-piece pot rack, and the craftsman. So this newsletter was made instantly. It matches your theme. If we go into the settings, save that for later. If we go into the settings and decide that we really wanted more of a blue look to the website, so we can do this one. The newsletter is updated as well. Now, of course, this only works for newsletters that haven't gone out yet, but you see really quickly the issue of matching your templates has been solved. The consistency between the newsletter and your website is obvious. Anyone clicking from this newsletter over to your website will immediately recognize that this is all kind of one common theme. And what's really neat about AwareLabs is it really does do automatic layouts. So let's say we want to go in here and under the newsletter, we want to add a gallery. So we're going to scroll down to connections, and we have a gallery. So see the photos, and we're going to add both pieces of content. So what's going to happen now is, if you notice, it added a gallery, and it added both photos, right? If we take that down to one item in the gallery, there's only one photo. So it really does do a lot of work for you. It kind of removes the things that get in the way. The thing you want your subscriber to do is click on this link and engage in your product. You want to present your product to them and have them click through and potentially buy. If you can do that in 2 minutes, then you can do it better and more frequently, because the trick to good newsletter sending is not necessarily to send the same newsletter to everyone, but send smaller, more targeted newsletters to more segments. So if the site is automatically segmenting people based on what they bought, and then you can send follow-up newsletters. Instead of sending one newsletter to everyone saying, buy these 10 things, you can literally do a very targeted one that says, for segment A, please buy this 2 or 3 items because they work for you. And you'll get better conversion rates and more sales. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. The last piece that is worth mentioning is guides, and it's kind of where we started. With guides, what these guides really do is they track progress for you. So the biggest challenge a lot of small businesses have is, well, what do I do next? Or let's say you're working with a consultant and you kind of want to know, well, what are you doing on my website? Because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's going on. There's a lot that you may not notice. It's not highly visible, but it's very important to your site. What AwareLabs has done is we've introduced kind of a progress tracking concept. It's broken up into 3 sections: manager, photographer, and really searching keywords are the same thing. But manager is where you can pick different guides. So right now we have an online store guide, and it will literally walk you through the entire process. So if you click on the task and start at the very first task, you're presented with this bar that walks you through all the steps. So number 1, set up the theme. Number 2, add site content. Number 3, contact information. And this will keep going. And if we scroll down, it will literally walk you through all the steps. It'll set up your email setup, your contact page. It'll go as far as actually helping you set up your store. It'll help you set up the payment, help you create the store. It'll help you actually, these are the links I mentioned earlier, the resources, the external resources. So once you set up your site, here are some of the places you should also consider selling. This is a long list. It'll help you do things like set up manufacturers, partners, profiles, things like that. And each one of these things is connected to a plugin. So this is the business plugin that is running that step. Your gallery. We currently don't have any policies. I mean, there really should be a policies page. The loyalty program, it's basically buy a gift card. It's built into your shopping cart. So if the loyalty program is active, people checking out through the checkout will be presented with an option to pay with their loyalty. And what's neat about the loyalty programs, there's ways of tying it into action. So you can reward people for leaving testimonials, things like that. And then the newsletter. I mean, we've done the newsletter, right? So again, this guide is kind of meant to show you how to move through the process of A to Z. And for an e-commerce shop, we just went through all the steps of setting up the site, adding items, creating the payment method, adding emails, and then the last step is actually doing marketing, sending out the email. And so it keeps track of everything in real time. It's 87% complete, so we only have about 26 minutes worth of work. It also keeps track of your photography. What this is really intended is for social media. So if we look at our business, for example, it basically says that we have photos for each of our, this is places where we resell. So we have photos for each of them. That's great. For gallery, we're missing a photo for this page. So you can literally click on this and choose a photo. So this is the gallery page. So let's just take one of the photos from down here. So I'll take one of these photos, add it. It's been updated. Now when I go to my photography thing, my gallery is 100% complete because we finished up this photo. And that continues on to search. So again, I mentioned that there's some predefined keywords for some of these sections that this tracks. This tells us that this is missing. There's a problem with the title and an image for this page. The home page, same thing. We can actually add keywords to each of these sections. So we can go in here and say, all right, for the home page, we can say pot. That's the keyword we want to rank for, want the home page to rank for. So we'll do that. And then when we go to search, that's been updated in real time so that when we actually do find the home page, it says that we do have the keyword pot rack and there's one page that has that word in it right here. So if we click on that, it's the only page. but it's missing an image. So again, we can click on here. It's saying we should probably add some words to this. It's too short. It's missing an image. So we go in here, say, all right, let's take this image, update page SEO. And now when we look at it, homepage is much better. Again, it's still only 85% because it's missing words. So this is what this indicates. So that's about it. The resulting page is this. It's very easy to modify. It's fully responsive. It's easy to make, right? Here's our shop. It was added to the home page as well. So that was super quick. We spent 30 minutes on this, and we basically covered everything from newsletters to keywords, to creating content, to modifying themes. I mean, that's incredibly fast for a website builder, and you know, it delivers on its promise. It gets out of your way. I mean, we wanted to create a pot rack and sell it. So anyway, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me, leave comments. We'll probably start doing these once a week, and we'll go from here. Thank you for your time.